Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advance. This game was played in US Chess Championship and this is an epic game because this is played between two mighty players. With the white pieces we have Fabiano Caruana, already in top form, won GCL, and now he's facing off against Wesley So, who's playing spectacular chess here at US Chess Championship. And now let's see what happens when these two face each other. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Here Fabi starts with knight to f3, he goes for the ready opening. We have d5, c4 and e6. Here we're going for g3. This is the Argan code defense. We have knight to f6, bishop to g2 and just d4, just taking more space in the center. We have castles now, knight to c6 and d3. Most likely somewhere along the line you're going to play a move like e3 to challenge that center and the extra space that black has taken over. And we have bishop to c5, and now just comes this knight bd2, castles, knight to b3, attacking the bishop, bishop to e7 and just h3 in this position. a5 now, pushing those pawns all the way, also hindering the development of the knight. If you allow a4 in this position, obviously Wesley stops this, but first he challenges the center with e3. And now just comes e5, and we have e captures, and just immediate a4 because you don't want to allow a5. Bishop to b4 now, and now just going for this bishop to d2, challenging that bishop, and because you want to develop the rook there, so here just comes bishop to f5. And what do you play in this position? Because that pawn is under attack, you might want to either trade or either defend it somehow. You could go for a move like rook to e1, and yes, you can sacrifice the pawn because if bishop caps on d3, now you have this knight captures on d4, a beautiful tactical idea. Knight captures, you play bishop captures, and after this a captures, queen caps on d3, knight to e6 now, asking for a queen trade, but queen to e3, not trading more pieces because your pieces are not that developed, and when they are not active you should avoid the queen trade. So that's what could have followed, but instead after bishop to f5, just queen to c2 was played, defending the pawn. It's a crazy engine idea. Obviously no one is going to actually try to go for it, but it's early start. You can actually calculate all of these lines and spend some time there, but maybe not too much. But here just rook to e8 was played. Now just comes rook a to e1. We have queen to d6 and immediate g4, pushing the bishop back. Would you be maybe interested in sacrificing the knight? But not really, because you don't have any countermeasure. Because if you go for bishop captures, yes, the queen is eyeing this, bishop is eyeing this, you have some ideas but not too much. I mean, you don't have that many pieces towards the king side to be able to try and attack, and knight is doing a very fine job of defending everything. So here just bishop to d7, not going for anything crazy. We have c5 now, attacking the queen, queen to f8, and now just rook caps on e8. We have rook captures, bishop to f4, now just targeting that weak c7 pawn. How are you going to defend that? You don't have the bishop that can go back and defend, or maybe you can defend it with a queen. Maybe you want to play a passive move like that, but you know, that's really what here Wesley goes for. But you could have actually given it up as well, and with a move like maybe knight to d5, you play defending and attacking in the same time. That would have been very nice. Or you could have also gone for a move like h5 in this position, and you would be absolutely fine just sacking that piece, because that piece away from your king is much better. Here rook to c8 was played though, rook to c1, now just comes h5, and we have g5, pushing it further. And you can see with every move Wesley's position is becoming very sad, because you know, you have to understand your pieces are not that active. This bishop is basically out of the game, those knights are not doing that much, and slowly Fabi is improving his position and he's playing spectacular chess. Here just comes knight to d5 now by Wesley, bishop to g3 in this position, and you could go for a move like rook to e8 in this position, getting the rook back and sacrificing the pawn once again. Here h4, because you have to, because now that pawn will be under fire, so somewhere along the line it's better to just put a defense against that. Knight d to e7, bishop caps on c7. If you decide to go for this, the position turns to a draw, because here knight to f5, your pieces will get activity, and here after knight bd2 you play this rook to e2, pinning that queen to d1, and now just going for this queen to e7, and you can see slowly from this position you get this position. So that would be absolutely spectacular going for, considering the fact that you have sacrificed just one pawn. This is a great head start. But here after bishop to g3, b6 was played, challenging that pawn, and now just going for this g6. G6 is a beautiful move. I mean, really one of the classiest move I played in US Chess Championship, if least to say, because the thing is that what do you do here? Knight d to e7 was played, and now just comes g caps on f7. We have queen caps on f7 and knight to g5, just attacking that queen. Where do you move the queen now? That's the question, because here it seems like this queen is out of the way. What is it even doing here? But you can get the queen activated, and the thing is that the entire e-file is up for grabs. You cannot move the rook here because your pawn is hanging, and once you've made the decision of actually saving the pawn and putting the rook there on a passive square, you're gonna sit there for a while, and this bishop is basically out of the game. So you're playing a piece down. Basically, I can get the queen again here and there, and I can waste a couple of tempos in this position, and even then my position would be fine because your pieces are not placed at optimum squares. So here, just queen to f6 may be a decent idea, because here after h4 you play king to h8, queen to d1, bishop to g4, attacking the queen. You play bishop to f3, asking for a trade. Bishop captures, queen captures, and knight captures, trading everything. And here after king to h7, you go for this king to f1. The thing is that calculating all of these moves and still understanding that even if queens come off the board, it's better for white, because the thing is that your queen was not doing that decently as the queen on f6, but still your position is mightily amazing, and that's what you need to understand. This endgame is really amazing for white, and here you can actually win this. Although it's plus 1.1, but we have seen, I mean, Fabi convert even less than this to a win, so he could have done that. But after knight to g5, here queen to g6 was played. Is queen to g6 worse than queen to f6? Well, we're gonna have to see. Engine gives it as just 0.3 difference between 1.1 and 1.4, but we're gonna have to see what happens here. h4 was played. Now just going for this king to h8. C caps on b6. We have c captures, queen to c4 now, just getting the queen activated. Is there any discoveries in the position? Well, not for the moment. Here queen to e8. If you go for, this is the only move that gives you any advantage, and when I say any, I mean any. It's just the way to be able to survive in this position. There is not much you can do. Knight to f7 check is definitely coming. You play king to h7, bishop to e4 check, and after this knight to f5, you play queen to d5, just getting the queen activated. After knight to e7, you play knight to g5 check, and after king to h8, you go for this rook captures on c8. After queen captures, we have queen to f7, and now you can see that white's position are absolutely spectacular. You're gonna want to actually attack in this position and try to win this game. But here in this position, Wesley did not actually calculate everything precisely. He went for queen to f6, and queen to f6 is not a good move, and now here he takes advantage of this. He goes for queen to b5, and he finds the right idea, and now Wesley is in a lot of trouble. Here queen to f5 was played, asking for a trade. If you trade, then maybe here you might be able to survive, but here a beautiful move by Fabi. I mean, calculating this with absolute precision, he goes for queen to a6. I mean, in what mind someone just chooses to go for queen to a6 when you're in the midst of an attack? It's absolutely spectacular. I mean, not even bothered to capture this pawn, but just going for queen to a6 and thinking that that's the right move. Here rook to f8 was played by Wesley, thinking that maybe you have something here, but the bishop pair are doing a fine job of defending everything. Here queen to b7 now, but now just comes bishop to e8. We have bishop captures on c6, finally just grabbing that piece. Bishop captures, and now just going for this rook captures on c6, sacrificing the exchange for two pieces. Hey, queen caps on d3 was played, not going for this knight captures, but the thing is that now the position is really worse, and here there is only one winning move for Fabi. And the thing is that in a complicated position, Fabi was able to find the queen to a6 idea, but will he be able to just calm his mind down and play the simplistic move here in this position to be able to try and win this position? I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out the only winning move in this position. Have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is as simple as just rook captures on b6, just grabbing that pawn, because there is nothing that black has in this position. If you go for knight to f5 in this position, then just comes queen to e4, asking for a trade, and yes, there is no attack happening. Queen caps on e4, knight captures. If you play d3 trying to push the passed pawn, I have rook to b8. If you just play king to g8, rook caps on f8, king captures. The thing is that this pass pawn is not that strong. You cannot push it. You're a piece down. I'm in a completely winning position. That's the problem. So after queen caps on d3, he does not find this. He goes for rook to e6, but still engine is still giving it a fair valuation. But the thing is that if once you miss the best move somewhere along the line, you're going to miss the rest of the best moves as well, and this happens a lot. Here just knight to f5 was played, but now just comes bishop to e5, and here just queen captures on b3, just finally grabbing the piece that he sacked. And here just rook to h6 was played. Rook to h6 is a beautiful move. That check comes with the pin, and now where do you move? King to g8 was played. Now just comes to rook to h7. What do you do in this position? The threat is very simple. Here just sacking this, captures, and this will be checkmate, so you have to be a little bit careful. Here rook to f7 was played, but now just comes this knight captures on f7, finally just grabbing that piece, and the position is dead lost for Wesley. And when I say dead lost, I mean it dead lost. There is nothing that he can do. But here he plays the calm move, king captures on h7, not grabbing the knight here in this position. And now what do you do? Here knight to g5 check was played, king to h6, and in this position here, the move that you want to play is not at all an easy move to spot. The move that you want to play is queen to c6. Give a check in this position. Maybe here you block with the pawn, or maybe you play bishop to d6 in this position. Anything is fine, and here the thing is that you will be winning. But here Fabi went for queen captures on b6 for the check. It's still fine. no issues. G6 was played, but now the move that you want to be able to find to be able to win this is a very complicated move and not at all easy to spot. It gives it as a +6 evaluation, but the thing is that here queen to b8 is the move that you want to find. Here after knight caps on h4, now you play bishop to f6, and here you are covering everything. Here that's the thing, that's the idea. You're just getting checkmated. There is nothing you can do. A queen to d1 check would have been played most likely. King to h2, and now you play this knight to f3 check. Knight caps on f3, bishop to d6 check, and you just capture that as well. And after queen caps on f3, the thing is that it's a mate in two if you capture this knight. You can play a lot of moves. You can play queen to h1 check and sacrifice the queen, but that's absolutely absurd. But after queen caps on f3, the thing is that queen to f8 checking moves, and this will be checkmate. So that was the idea. And yes, there was a mate in the position. But the thing is that after g6 here, queen to f6 was played, and queen to f6 just loses the advantage drastically because there is not much in this position. And Wesley is an absolute beast. He finds the right idea within seconds. He goes for queen to g8, defending his king. And now the thing is that materially you're speaking, you're equal. Also, black has a pass pawn, but the thing is that now it's very difficult to try and go for an attack as you thought it would. Here just going bishop to f4, maybe you have something because you have some discovered checks. But the thing is that here knight to f7 check was played, thinking that maybe you can try and go for a win. But here just comes king to h7, you don't have anything. Knight to g5 check, king to h6, bishop caps on d4. Should not have captured that, should have gone for there. But here just comes knight caps on d4. We have this queen caps on d4, queen to g7, and here just queen to e4. Now just comes queen caps on b2, finally grabbing that pawn. Knight to f7 check, king to h7, and here knight to e5. Queen to c1 check, king to g2, queen to h6, and here just going for this knight to c6, queen to f8, and here just going for knight to e5, king, queen to g7, and here just queen to d5. Maybe you can try and do something in this position, not going for a draw. Queen to f6, queen to d7 check, king to g8, queen to c8 check, king to g7. But most likely still draw could be persisted, but you can just move back. Maybe you can try to do something in this position, but the thing is that once the position clears up, it's better to accept a draw rather than to plain out simple blunder in this position and go for a loss. So here after queen to g7, knight to f3 was played, queen to d7, knight to e5, king, queen to g7, queen to d5, and just going for this queen to f6 both plays, repeating the moves but in a different order. But the thing is that knight to f3 was played, now trying to just go for maybe some sort of win, but it's very difficult. Queen to f4, queen to e6, king to g7, queen to d7 check, king to h6, queen to c6, queen to g4 check was played, but now just comes king to f1, and here queen to h3 check, king to e2, queen to g4, and just king to f1, queen to h3, and here both plays here agreed to go for a draw. And the thing is that I have never seen in top level chess a position so hopeless from +7 to be able to hold that to a draw. Kudos to Wesley to be able to survive this insane attack, and not just surviving but coming out of a hopeless position. I mean, yes, you can say that there are a lot of missed mates and all of those things that happens in the game, but +7 clear advantage and surviving from that is really a miracle for Wesley, and Wesley is gonna have to prove that by winning the US Chess Championship or just playing the rest of the games absolutely spectacularly. So let's see what he does. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.